Your heart rate is the number of beats that you have per minute. And when I was in high school, I was told that you have a limited number of beats in your lifetime. And if you smoked, then your heart would beat faster and then your life would get shorter. That was totally ridiculous and not even real. And I don't know if they were telling all the high school students that in those days. They're trying to get people not to smoke by telling them their life is going to be shorter. But their reasoning was way off as far as why your life is shorter. No, you don't have a limited number of heartbeats in your life. But why is the resting heart rate important? This is kind of an important thing that you have to know about. When a heart is efficient and functioning and you're resting and quiet and relaxed, it should be anywhere from in the 50s, 60s, maybe up to 70. That kind of range is like a good place to be. And most people are in that range when they're quiet and relaxed. Sometimes they're in the 40s. And then the alarm goes off, beep, 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 your heart rate's 45. You got to do something about that. You're going to die. And actually, that may not be true. So people who work out a lot, people who do marathons and triathlons and distance running and cycling and all that stuff, their heart rate, their resting heart rate is going to often be in the 40s and sometimes in the low 40s. Like they're sitting around, and I had somebody once, I was listening to his heart and it was like 38 or something like that. And it's going boom, 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 boom. And you're like, okay, keep going, please keep going. Don't stop now. Because it feels like it's too slow, like it's going to stop at any moment. And what's really going on is the heart is very efficient because they do like distance and their heart has to work at a high level for a long period of time. So this efficiency makes their heart a little larger than normal and it pumps out more blood per beat. So instead of getting a normal 50 to 60% per beat, they're getting like 70% per beat and the heart is larger. So to get all that circulation, they just have to do fewer beats. That's why. And what's really interesting, if you look at the difference between an elephant, for example, that beats like 1 time per minute, boom, boom, this big old heart pumping, boom, boom. And as compared to a hummingbird, their little teeny heart that's about less than an inch is going 300 to 600 times a minute. That the size has a lot to do with it. So, and a runner or somebody who does long distance, they have a larger heart, and so they have fewer beats, and so it's going to be slower. It makes sense when they're resting. So, what does that mean to you? If your heart is very efficient, then your normal resting heart rate is going to be lower. So if it's in the 50s, that's okay. If you're working out a lot and it's in the 40s, that's okay. So that's not a problem. It's not bradycardia, which means slow heart rate, unless you're getting symptoms. So you have symptomatic bradycardia. So technically, bradycardia is you have the bell curve, you're outside of the bell curve. So yeah, in the 40s, it's bradycardia, but it's not symptomatic bradycardia until you're getting dizziness from it, right? So that's where the resting heart rate is. If you're feeling fine and everything is working and you're not getting lightheaded from lack of blood flow, then your heart rate is fine. So what about the upper end? What about people who are running 90? Technically normal, so anywhere from 60 to 100 is considered normal. Over 100 is considered tachycardia. Tachycardia means high heart rate. So technically, if you're in the 90s, what does that mean? Well, that means your heart is probably less efficient. It's smaller. It's probably beating 50% of the blood is being pushed out with every beat. Because of that, it has to beat more times to get the same amount of circulation. So that's a resting heart rate. And that's why the resting heart rate is important. The better your heart is functional, the lower your resting heart rate will be. That's an interesting little tidbit of information.